Stop playing footsies with me.
You're the one who's literally doing it.
So, what's up, everybody? My name's Nick.
And my name's Josh.
And we're here to give you
a reality check.
Period. This week, we are recapping Survivor 47, Episode 4. Great episode, brand new Beware advantages, new alliances, new journey twists, and a whole bunch of shenanigans.
What are we feeling right now?
This episode had my heart racing.
One of the best episodes in the new era thus far.
It's honestly, every time that there's a new episode of this season, I'm like, oh my god, I think that was my favorite episode. Like, this season is really, really good. Not only like the castaways, but like production, the editing. Like, we'll get into some of the sneaky editing that happened this episode, but I'm very, very, very into it so far. Also, if you're curious about what is behind us here, you're going to have to head over to our Instagram and TikTok to hear and see our Hear Me Out cake for our Survivor 50 castaways that we want to see back.
Hear us
out. Well, it's the Hear Me Out cake trend, so give me a break.
If you're a fan of reality TV, from all things from Survivor to Big Brother to RuPaul's Drag Race to The Summit, come here. You can see us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Instagram for all things reality. And that's where we're going to give you a reality check.
Yep. We're your new best friends. Okay. So take a seat, come on in, and get your reality tea fix with your brand new besties. Okay. Now let's get into episode 4. Do you want to open our drinks?
Crack a cold one with the boys.
So, not sponsored today. We are drinking Poppy. I have the Doc Pop because I'm a Dr. Pepper girl.
And I have grape because I love grape.
Let's get that ASMR ready.
Oh.
Cheers to Survivor 47.
Another cheers to Mother Sue.
Mother Sue. Oh my god. Where's the hoodie? So before we officially jump into the episode, you guys have all seen the Sue neck by now. This is the Sue neck. It has all of these amazing pictures from the promo of her. We went to the Survivor 47 New York City beach drop, and she didn't just sign it. She left us the sweetest message on the back here. To my favorite podcasters, I love you both, Sue Smay. So I will never be wearing this again. Okay. And if you're listening in, if you're a listener of this podcast, head over to our Instagram so you can see this Sue neck in action. We have all the clips and videos from the New York City event over there.
Okay, so we start the episode 4. We're coming back from Tribal Council.
Yes.
It is a hot mess because this episode was one of the first times I genuinely didn't know who was going home until they pulled that last vote.
Oh my god.
It was all over the place.
I was like, I retouched on it last week. If you want to go hear our thoughts about Tribal Council, go check last week's episode. But I remember literally writing until like 9:25. I had what is going on.
No, literally.
It was that dramatic. So definitely check out last week's episode for that. But what I want to get into is the opening scene with Teenie. Teenie opens up a little bit and discusses the fact that they're having trouble with the elements of the game, like voting people out. It's kind of wearing on them, which I feel like I can empathize with, because as like a more people empathetic person, you know, you're carrying that weight of ending somebody's dream.
You? I'm joking. You really are one of the most empathetic people I've ever met.
Stop. I was gonna cry. Like, literally, I was gonna cry.
We were able to talk to Teenie, and talking to Teenie and seeing Teenie,
such a genuine human being.
Like, I can, like, after meeting Teenie, I can actually see on screen, like, that was definitely a really hard decision. Moment. Yeah, like it's not something that's easy. I want to say, like, I'm not going to have those moments, but, like, you don't know. You're never going to know until you're there.
It's also really funny that if you go back and watch our Meet the Cast video, I'll insert a clip here. I said in our Meet the Cast, Teenie, if we were out at a bar, I would want to go up to Teenie and have a drink with them because they seem like such good vibes. My vibe and their perception and the way that they're being perceived on TV for Teenie is very, very accurate, I will say.
I agree.
I will say.
So Teenie's having a moment with the tribe. Teenie's kind of like, you know, everyone's having a little discussion and they're trying to figure out who put votes on who.
We saw that Teenie did admit to Soul right away.
Immediately.
I was your vote. And that ties into the whole
I literally wrote down teeny opener will talk to Saul.
Yeah.
Like you can
Which
tell.
also, Soul not going home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the S names this season. Soul, Sue. Love it.
Where does Teeny fall into that?
Teeny.
Sneaky little teeny
Sneaky
little.
little teeny little. Yeah. I thought I loved that moment, that opening scene, because we got to see that, like, these are real people. You know,
Yeah.
these people on Survivor, if you're leaving hate comments on Facebook and you are.
We're talking, zoom in right here.
Yeah, come on in.
The trolls that are coming from Mother Seuss May on Facebook, you need to stop
Facebook
it right
specifically.
Now.
Like, get off of
What
Facebook,
are you doing?
first of all.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
If you're going to say something, come and tweet at her so then I can come and I can come tweet at you.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop me.
Try to comment that on a reality check post. See what happens. Mm-hmm. So bringing that into a more perspective view, wide perspective view, these are real people.
Yeah.
They have real emotions and they really do feel the weight of all these decisions. So I thought it was really big of Teeny, no pun intended, to immediately kind of open up to Soul. Like, my vote had nothing to do with you. It was more about I didn't want to vote for Asia.
Yeah.
So,
which I completely understand, because Asia, at that point, Asia and Teeny had a relationship that we saw.
That was their
blossom.
first connection.
Exactly. And you can even see, like, after that whole Soul moment, like, Teeny is questioning the alliance.
Yeah.
And, like, because the alliance at that point right now, it's Teeny, Kashan, Rome, and Genevieve. But with that whole voting that had happened in the past, in that last night's tribal council, it's just, no one really knows the direction that's going.
We'll get into that later, and we'll get back to Lavo. Trust me, we're going to be spending a lot of time with Lavo today.
Yes, we will.
But I want to transition to some of the pre-challenge scenes that we got with some of the other tribes.
I need to know what your opinion is, because right after Lavo, we panned to Gata.
Very much so.
One of your faves, Sam.
Not one of my faves, but continue.
He decides that he's a rapper. How did you feel about that?
I literally have. Did I write it or did I text it to you?
Sam the rapper? ?
Wait.
LOL. Freestyle King is what I wrote down.
It's the first thing I wrote in my notes. Anytime anyone raps and insert on Survivor, it's bad. Anytime anyone raps on Survivor, it's bad. Always. Like, we've seen it in so many seasons where they open up with a clip and they're like, my name is Sam and I'm on the island. I'm going to go and find an idol. Like, who cares? You are not Eminem. You are not. And, like, it's just always so bad. I get it. They're trying to pass the time. It's funny. It's cute, whatever. I want to talk more about this moment that we see. We get an idol. We get an alliance name. This is the first time in Survivor in recent memory that people are naming alliances. The Big Brother thing to name your alliances.
Vacation Alliance.
Yeah.
No, like, it's called the
leftover. Like, you know, like.
What was that other one? The Cookout. The Cookout was an alliance.
Like, naming your alliance is very much a Big Brother thing. So I was shocked that they wanted to give it a name. But what do you think about the name that they picked before we reveal it?
Before we reveal the name, I think that, honestly, I don't mind the name. I don't mind the name because it's cute and it's powerful.
And I think it kind of plays on the gender stereotype.
Yeah.
It's three women and they picked the name breadwinners, plural. And that's typically something associated when it was back in the day. It was associated with the man of the house. He was the breadwinner. You know, he would take care of the household. So I think it's really kind of powerful, like you said, of them to flip that with a three women alliance and name that. I thought it was fun. But then Sierra went and blabbed it.
The last thing that I have written down for Gata is the switch up on Sierra is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I can't narrow down who she really wants to kind of like buckle down.
Does she want to be with the girls? Does she want to be with Sam? Does she want to be with Andy? I'm just confused because there's just a lot happening with Sierra. Does she want to go with
Sam D or does she want to go with the breadwinner?
Well, she even said in that little clip, like, she doesn't like that the other tribes are tying her and Sam together. And she's trying to...
Which is smart. You know, you don't want to go into
a
tribe swap, merge as a two.
Agreed.
You never want to go in as a couple. I think it's smart, but I think that... I don't know. I don't know. I think she has more of a shield if she goes with Sam and Andy, because typically post-merge, men tend to get voted out for strength earlier. But I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Who do you
Where
hope
is
she
she?
goes with? The girls or the boys?
I don't know because okay, so I like Sierra. We haven't really gotten to see a lot of her so far, like just yet. I'm really rooting for the Andy kind of like redemption arc. So I would love if they kind of teamed up together. But I also love the three women. Like so I'm really in a toss up. I think for her it's gonna be honestly, like who's the best in that moment. They've only gone to tribal once. They were the first tribe to go to tribal. So now it's been 3 more weeks and they
True.
haven't had to test these new alliances. Like, sure, these girls are the breadwinners, but they haven't had to win any bread together. Like they have not sliced up any sourdough.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
so we'll see once they get tested
Yeah.
where the chips will fall. So
Okay. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I mean, I'm rooting for the Sam, Andy, Sierra.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, I want to see Andy's arc, and I don't think that Andy's arc is going to happen if Sierra goes with the girls, because I think that Andy will be the first one picked off.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have to wait and see how it's going to play out, honestly.
I'm excited to see how the alliances at gotta shake out, especially since they haven't been tested since episode 1.
That is very
For
true.
sure.
So after that, we pan over to Tuku. We have such a cute moment again with Sue and Gabe, where Gabe is like going up to Sue.
Oh, before that.
Yes.
Wait, before that.
Oh.
The moment that has talk about a mother quake.
A mother
The moment
quake.
that has
A
divided
10.0 quake.
the moment that has divided the Survivor fan base in half. Sue decides that she does not want her age to be a determining factor in how people perceive her, which is smart. Older people tend to get voted out earlier
because they think that they're the weaker link.
Yeah, or they tend to get drugged to the end and kind of goaded, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So Sue decides to tell her tribe that she's 45.
Yeah.
Which we support. We love it. We think she passes for 45.
Yeah.
We did not even really think anything of it. How do you navigate that? Because Sue is 59.
Yeah. Sue is an older woman. She is 14 years older than the age that she is playing. And at the end of the day, you're playing a game. Everybody is there to be deceptive and to lie and to steal and to cheat. Not necessarily steal, but at the end of the
Rachel with the rice.
Yeah, Rachel with the rice. At the end of the day, you are doing what you can that you think is the best strategic move for you as a player of how to navigate that game. And shame on every single person in the Survivor fan base that is coming at Sue about her just having a measly little deceptive moment for people on a TV show.
That was filmed a year ago.
So
yeah, that's what we want to say. Enough. These are real people. Mm-hmm. There's no need to drag this woman down for playing the game. And here's the other thing. This game, these people, they can't see what they look like when they're out there. Of course they're dirty. Of course they have scrapes and bumps and bruises. They're gonna look weathered. They're gonna look tired. You would be too if you're sleeping on bamboo and eating nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
So that's our PSA, is to give these contestants some grace. Mm-hmm. It's just frustrating to see, especially people who have been in an online space. It's not fun. You think these comments don't get seen by these people, but they do. They see them, and it's offensive, and it's rude. And how would you like if somebody came posted on your Christmas card, Karen, and was like, wow, Karen that Bob looks like shit. Shut up. Just shut up. Moving on to the best moment of the episode.
the best moment of the episode. Of the season. Thus far.
Of the season thus far. Sue goes on the capital H hunt for this idol.
She's searching.
Yeah.
And she does not care.
Yeah.
I don't think that Sue looking for the idol was a bad look on her.
Strike on her game.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. And I don't think that anybody was really suspecting her to look for it. I think that a lot of the other people are kind of just seeing Sue as Sue's just here for the adventure, which great. Use that to your advantage, mm-hmm. Get these people to kind of overlook you. The
brand new Be Aware advantage that is in this episode. Well, it's a twist on a Beware advantage that we saw in season 42. So basically, Sue finds the advantage, and the Beware advantage is, you lose your vote until, you find the idol.
It's a typical Beware punishment.
Exactly.
Lose your vote till you find the idol.
So
then it has the directions, and it's go cut this rope on this tree.
which was like,
which is like, okay, cut the rope.
Whatever. I'm gonna give it to Sue because it took her no time to find that rope and to find that tree.
Yeah,
she went right.
She had the clue. It was gone. Like Sue goes to find the idol and chop this rope out from the sky. Drops a gigantic vase, like a ceramic vase, and shatters, full of bright red paint. Like Carrie, like the bucket drops. Like, and literally you see Sue and she's just like, oh.
And it's not even just like the paint on it's everywhere.
It's on the trees. It's in the sand. It's on the water well. It's everywhere.
I am nervous for any, like, nobody piss off Sue because if she needs to cover up a crime, she now knows how.
It was like she had like half a second where she was like, oh, and then she was like, I gotta clean it up. She literally was using a stick and a palm frond as a broom.
Yeah.
Like it was so iconic. So I love the element of like caught red-handed.
Yeah.
In kind of interwoven into the Beware advantage. I thought that was really, really cool.
I agree.
Do you think she got away with it? Do you think she covered up the crime scene?
I think that Sue covered up the crime scene. Mm-hmm. I do think that because right after she gets the idol, also just a quick little tidbit. In the previous 3 idols that we have found from the Beware advantage, you know, if you find the first idol, you have it for one you have it for one tribal council.
You can like level it.
You can level it up to get it up to the final 5 full power idol. This idol is already full power. Yeah. Like Sue has a full power idol.
4 full powered idol.
Like she can use that anytime that she wants. So honestly, this was great for her to find the idol, and it's also great that nobody else knows regardless if they know about the idol, it's good that they don't know what kind of idol she has. Because right now we're painted that she has a 1 tribal or she has the 3 tribal. I think that she got away with it. No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think that I think Caroline was like, oh, okay, whatever. But I do think Tiana's very suspicious of it because she looks like she had blood on her.
Yeah.
But there was no cut. And she's saying that I did something stupid with the machete.
Yeah. And we're
where's the evidence? Is whether or not she runs and tells Gabe. Because she's been very open with Gabe thus far. And I really, 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 really hope that she keeps it to herself.
So we get to Lavo. Rome versus Saul. That whole moment that's happening, number one. How do you feel about having somebody like Rome literally follow in the footsteps of Saul throughout the whole camp? Like, what did you feel about that moment?
Okay. I have a few opinions.
We'll narrow it down to 1 or 2.
Okay. A lot of people tend to forget how cutthroat and ruthless pre-New Era Survivor was. They used to call this babysitting. And it used to be when they didn't want the person to find the idol, everybody would stay at the fire. There have been a few seasons of this where they wouldn't let anybody leave, or if they did, the whole tribe would follow one person. Mm-hmm. So this is not uncommon behavior. Do I think that it is extremely irritating and childish? Yes. You are all individual adults playing your own game, which, like, that goes both ways. Rome's an adult playing his own game. If that's how he wants to play, then that's how he's going to play. So would I love it if it was happening to me? Absolutely not. Do I think that it's kind of unfair to be in somebody's back pocket and not allow them to play their own game?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I understand why he was doing it.
I understand why he was doing it, but there's a way to go about it, and he was just, and I'm sorry, Rome, that you were just obnoxious.
Yeah. Rome follows us. We love Rome. We think that he is great.
He has great strategy. Yeah,
like he's honestly, if he wasn't so socially unaware at points, he would be doing really well.
Yeah, I didn't like that moment, and I didn't like that moment when Soul literally was like, dude, can you get off my back? Like, if you don't want me to be in the woods, I will go sit on the damn beach. Just give me like 5 feet of space. Like
social distance, baby.
Social distance. And I don't know, just that conversation that he had with Soul. And it wasn't even a conversation. That little moment when Soul like turns around in the woods, and then like Rome kind of like tried to strong arm him.
Yeah, I didn't like really any of Rome's behavior. It was very like throwing a temper tantrum to me.
Yeah,
it was very childish, very temper tantrum-esque. So I mean, we saw that it became almost like he said, "I'm not threatening you. It's an ultimatum. Like, That's a little bit later,
Oh
but
my god.
I didn't love that. We do see out of those ashes kind of a Genevieve ex Soul relationship.
This is where we have the spark and the Genevieve coming out of her cocoon and really
We
being a
finally
player.
get introduced to Genevieve this episode.
Thank you, production shirt, for giving us Genevieve in that moment, because honestly,
where's she been? I will say we've been saying where's Genevieve, where's Genevieve, where's Genevieve. I think that this was a great time to let her kind of take center stage, because there hasn't really been a moment where she really influenced anything until this episode, which we'll get into later. But I think it's finally great that we get to see a little bit more of Genevieve's gameplay. So Teeny's fourth wall breaks, Jim Halpert-esque office moments this season. Love it. They were so funny. We tweeted about it. Check them out.
It was really cute. Before we hop over to the immunity challenge, we just have to touch base on Gata real quick, because we have a
very funny moment.
We go back over to Gata, and Sam and Andy are having a little moment over there.
Yeah,
but Sam is having a moment with Andy.
Did that say I love Andy so much?
Yeah, I love Andy so much, because this is when we truly saw Andy, like analytical Andy, really came out right there, because he's talking to Sierra, he's talking to Sam, he's talking to both
Andy,
of them.
he lost his shot in the dark.
He didn't, though. He never gave. I mean,
he fell out of his bag.
Okay, it fell out of his bag. Okay, we're going to skip over that part, just because he never. It's not like they took it from him.
Yeah.
Like, they gave it back to him. They made him have a little scavenger hunt about it. Whatever. Sierra spilling tea to Andy, and she's basically just letting Andy know, talking to Andy about the alliance with the girls, and Sam doesn't know about the girl alliance.
Well, he knows. He didn't know that they were called the breadwinners.
Well, he knew that Sierra was having strategy talk, so they didn't. So they thought that Sierra was in a group of three with them.
Yeah.
But when Sierra was talking to Andy, and she was talking a little bit more in depth about the three of them, the first thing Andy did, and Andy, a round of applause to you. He ran to Sam and spilled all the tea. And that is the first crack that we've seen in the Sam-Sierra alliance from Andy, while Andy's supposedly going to be the third in their alliance. Yeah. So it kind of just shakes up camp at Gata,
and I honestly,
going into the immunity challenge.
I don't even think Andy realized what he was doing. No. I think that Andy was coming to Sam to discuss information that he thought they both knew.
Yes.
So, but it turned into Andy kind of wiggling his way into possibly down the line being more of Sam's number one.
I think that Andy put himself into a great position doing all of that right there.
Well, I don't know. It might not work out for him, because he might push Sierra away into the girls' alliance, and then those three are going to have control and take him out.
I could see that, but I think that if that was to happen, I think Sierra will pull Andy in versus pulling in Sam. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. We go to the immunity challenge.
Yes, we jump into the tribal immunity challenge.
Our first immunity challenge this season without water.
Yeah, no water element. Into the immunity challenge, we see these gigantic cubes. We see puzzles. We see climbing. We see everything. This is a little bit of everything in this challenge.
Yeah.
The tribes have to start off by moving this 15-foot size.
Huge. It's like me cube on top of me.
Yeah.
And that's 12 feet, because I'm 6 foot.
Yeah. So they're these huge cubes. They have to roll them down
and they look pretty heavy.
Yeah, they look really heavy. And they roll these to collect keys to then dig out a key. It's a very kind of long immunity tribal. It's strength, dig, puzzle is kind of how it
strength,
goes.
Dig, carnival game, puzzle.
Oh yeah, the carnival game. I just want to say that the people who did the beanbag tossing, the sandbag tossing for the breaking windows part of the challenge absolutely nailed it. We got to take part in that challenge in the pop-up in New York City.
It is so much harder than it looks.
Hard. What did you think?
I thought that it was a good challenge. I liked that, getting up to the break the sandbag through the hole, through the window toss, you know, it was very neck and neck. There
This
wasn't
whole
one over the
challenge,
other. Like,
yeah.
that was probably like the hardest part of that challenge was
Yeah.
tossing it onto the barrel.
They get through the cube, they get the keys, they get through their sandbag tossing, and now we have a brand new version of a classic Survivor flame puzzle.
Yeah.
Way bigger. Instead
Huge.
of just one kind of tier of
It's
fire,
like life
three.
size.
It's huge. It's like
giant.
as tall as a person.
Yeah.
So it was really, really big. There was a lot of pieces, and all three of the tribes kind of get there at the same time.
Yeah. Very, very neck and neck.
And then we have
the biggest flop of Survivor
the biggest
history.
blowout and the biggest flop
ever.
in the same literally ever.
It was absolutely insane. So for those who didn't see the episode, you know, we had the Tuku and the Gata tribe utilizing both players. You know, both of them were grabbing pieces, trying to see what can fit where, because they started the puzzle with like an anchor. Like there was one piece into the ground and you had to build around it. So perfect for two people to work on at one time. For some reason, Rome thought that it was a good idea to sit in front of that piece and have Genevieve one by one hand him every individual piece. And it's not even like he was going fast. Like, say this is the piece in the middle. He grabs a piece and he goes, well, that's not it. And then hands it back.
Like, didn't even look at Genevieve. Just like this.
No. Like, I wouldn't even say that it was a blowout. So we have Gata and Tuku really going back and forth. Yeah. And there's just at one point where...
Also, Caroline did really well. Gata did kind of start to pull away a little bit on the puzzle. Mm-hmm. Annika and Rachel were literally flying. It was like every piece they picked up was
they had to have... Did you guys practice that puzzle ahead of time?
Literally, they must have practiced. But I will say Caroline really, really kind of kept Tuku...
She held her own.
On their heels for that. I honestly was having secondhand embarrassment. And what made it even worse in that moment, I think, for Rome and the perception of Rome again, was that Soul once again offered to jump in.
Oh my God, I forgot about that moment.
He goes, do you want to switch? And because that's the thing, like, perspective is everything in a puzzle.
Yeah.
And Rome planted himself in front of that starting piece this close to it and couldn't back up and see it. So Soul, you literally saw Soul behind him. That's not it.
Soul saw something that Genevieve and Rome weren't seeing, and honestly, it's a shame. And I don't even want to blame Genevieve, but like she also could have stepped out. She
wasn't doing anything wrong,
but she wasn't doing anything right.
That's true. Yeah, so
it's a team at that point.
I definitely recommend going to watch that moment because it was like jaw on the floor, just like, is this really happening? Like even Jeff was like, I have never in my entire life seen such a poor showing at a puzzle.
Yeah, like, it was rough.
Bad. It was really bad.
So Gata wins. Tuku comes in second. Lavo obviously flops. After the challenge, Gata has to choose who's going on the journey. One from each tribe, obviously. So for Lavo, they have Teeny. For Tuku, they have Caroline. And for Gata, they have Andy. No shocker, they sent Andy.
I think it was a good moment for Andy to go on a journey.
Oh no, he needed to go on a journey. What I didn't like with production, we send everybody on the journey, and then all of a sudden, you know, usually you see like the video of them walking back to camp. They basically just panned right to Gata. They didn't we didn't even see them leave for the journey, and all of a sudden they're just going right into the next part of the show.
Well, I think that was because of what they won, what Gata won. So the reward, it was not only an immunity challenge this episode, it was also for reward. And Jeff, before he even pulls up the curtain, you hear they win 3 egg-laying hens for the first tribe, which was Gata, and the second tribe to finish, which was Tuku, got 6 fresh eggs. So I think the reason that we didn't immediately pan to the journey was because of the large reaction and dilemma Gata was facing with the chickens. To eat or not to eat.
So we get to Gata. Sam is like, I'm starving. I haven't really eaten any food in days.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to at least one. He's like, at least one chicken.
Yeah, they get 3, and it's like I go back and forth a lot with the chickens because my heart is like I could never snap a chicken's neck. But I've also never only eaten 3 grains of rice in 12 days. So I see both sides. I think that, 1 out of 3 ain't bad. Keep the other 2 for eggs because it also looks good for the merge if you do bring egg laying chickens. I think one of them could have been sacrificed.
I agree. Listen, Sam's a big guy. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like he's 6 foot. He looks like he's like 190, 200 pounds. He needs some protein.
They also won.
They all need some protein.
They also won the challenge. A little celebratory, chicken.
A little chicken
yeah. Soup,
And if Sam is ready, like, if Sam's the one who's like, I want to eat the chicken, and he's the one who's like, I will do everything. You don't have to do anything except for consume the chicken.
I'd be like, done.
Kill the chicken. I will be right over there.
I'd be like,
eat the chicken.
I see both sides. I see the moral dilemma, but it's also like
what if they keep the chicken and the chickens and the hens aren't actually laying eggs? Then what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, I'm not.
Is it a faulty hen?
I'm not a big
I'm not a farmer.
knowledgeable chicken person, but I don't know if they just automatically lay eggs. If there's a point where they stop laying eggs, if you have to
auto or
them,
manual,
and if one of them is just not.
Give it a few days. They already haven't eaten.
I know, but it's like if they're all producing eggs, keep the eggs because eggs are a great source of protein.
Yeah.
The second that hen, you have an off day, boom, you're done. Like baby, I'm putting you with some Crisco and a side of mashed potatoes.
So after the whole chicken moment, we go back over to Lavo. If there's one thing about Rome, he is not going to take accountability. Where is the accountability of Rome flopping that challenge? Do you know?
Nowhere. Like it's kind of like Survivor courtesy as you're walking back up from being absolutely curb stomped in a challenge to be like, my bad.
I did this.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. I think that was,
Well, this is where the big moment happens for Lavo.
Yeah.
This is where Soul...
Mind you, we still haven't seen the journey.
Mind you, we still haven't seen the journey. Where are they?
Yeah.
Nobody knows at this point. But we have one of the craziest moments between Rome and Soul. Yeah. And this is where Rome basically is like, you know what? I'm going to take you to the beach and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Yeah. It's either you're giving me your shot in the dark so we can work together, or I'm using my seal vote on you and you're gone. You're gone. You're out of here.
The crazy thing is that no matter what, Rome was going to vote for Saul anyway.
Yeah.
So he
just wanted his shot in the dark.
I just don't like if you're giving someone shot in the dark and they get sent home, do you now have 2 shot in the darks?
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, I don't know how that works.
Well, if you had an idol and you gave it to me and I didn't play it and you got sent home, it's not like my idol is now inactive. I still get the idol. No? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be the same.
Yeah, I guess so. That's interesting.
I don't know. I didn't like that. It was giving power trip.
The shakedown.
This was, for me, Rome was definitely getting up there for like players that I enjoyed. That moment alone really did knock him down a couple rankings because, like, as Soul said, I'm a grown-ass man. You're not going to talk to me like that. Like, I'm probably 10, 15 years older than you.
There's no reason to.
No. Like, you're strong-arming him for what?
And Soul is already on the bottom. You already have a steal vote. And, like, if you wanted to have this whole plan to just get rid of Soul, just get rid of Soul.
Yeah, don't make it this whole thing. Listen, Rome is a showman. He wants everybody to be...
He wants the moment.
He wants the moment, and he's... In his head, this is him building his resume. But...
This just looks nasty. Like,
no,
if I am the jury, say I'm someone on the Lavo tribe and I was there to witness this moment, if I'm on the jury, like, ew.
You're not getting my vote.
Yeah, no.
That's not how you play the game, Survivor.
If Rome does make the merge, I am so interested to see if he considers jury management.
I don't think
he's been
thinking. Listen, I'm all here for a villain.
I literally wrote, flabbergasted by his gameplay.
Yeah. I'm here for a villain moment, but make it that good.
That wasn't even villainous.
That was just being mean.
Childish.
Yeah.
It was just unnecessarily Rude.
I literally wrote Soul ... eat him up, please. Because right after that, he walks back into camp and was like, so what's good?
Yeah.
As you should, king. Literally, Soul, you're a king.
You have the patience of a saint. I was very, very impressed pre-tribal with Keyshawn, how he was kind of thinking of every option if Teeny came back without a vote, if Teeny came back with an extra vote. Like, it was all very, like, we got to see that, like, Keyshawn was really kind of pulling the strings pre-tribal and really making those moves happen before Teeny got back.
He was definitely playing a puppet master role.
Yeah.
Trying to just figure out what is not only the best for his game, but he was taking Teeny's game into consideration because at this point, we still have no idea where they are or what they're doing. Or
what's going to happen to them.
Exactly. You know, Lavo's having a moment because Sean, he's having good gameplay. Right there, he's having good gameplay.
And you can tell that he really wants to work with Teeny.
Of course. That's his number one.
Yeah. So, we finally get to see what has been taking so long to get to the journey. And I'll be honest with you, this journey was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
For me. A little bit.
Immediately they get off the boat, and what do?
They spill the tea.
Yeah.
Well, I actually thought it was a cute moment that they walked up and the paper said, flip the hourglass and read the note. And they were like, you know, Andy kind of reached for it to start the journey. And Caroline was like, well, wait, can we like talk to each other first? I thought that was a cute moment.
I mean, period.
Yeah, the kind of the cliff notes of what everybody talks about. Caroline spills a little tea of like stuff that doesn't really matter. She kind of keeps things close to her chest.
At this point.
Andy is trying to like rebuild his reputation a little bit, show them that like, hey, I'm actually kind of normal and like playing Survivor too. And Teeny literally drops the entire tribe's dynamics.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Caroline is like focusing on the Bro Alliance. That doesn't really matter anymore because TK's gone. Andy is painting himself as the bottom, so he has a good leverage for when the merge happens, so he can go anywhere.
So
and then
they're interested to pull him in.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Teeny's spilling the tea, and she's letting everybody know that it is Soul versus Rome right now, and one of the two are most likely
David
going
versus
home.
Goliath is happening
exactly.
at Lavo. So we have another mandatory participation journey, which flip the hourglass and they read the note, and it says, "Hey, hope you guys,
hey girl, hey,
hope you guys are real comfortable with each other. So you're gonna have to decide between the three of you unanimously who's gonna give up your vote. And if you can't do that by the time that the hourglass runs out, guess what? You all lose your vote. Sorry."
Whoopsies.
So in my brain, immediately I hear them talking about this, and I'm like, okay, they want to save face. They're gonna be nice to each other. There's no way that Caroline or Andy encouraged Teeny to give up their vote. That was not the case. That was not the case.
Do you think that things would have went differently in that moment if Teeny didn't paint the picture that she was going to be safe? Because I think...
Yeah, Teeny goes, I'm really comfortable with my relationships. I don't need my vote. They're like, oh, great. You lose it.
They literally push... And listen, if I was in Andy's shoes or in Caroline's shoes, I would have done the same thing. Andy knows he needs his... He literally said in that moment, I know I'm at the bottom. I know I'm the next to go. I need my vote. Teeny had an upper hand there. To be completely fair...
If somebody could have lost their vote, it would have been Caroline, I think.
No, I think Teeny. I think Caroline would be next to the chopping block.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting that I think for me, I feel like if I was on that beach and I was Caroline or Andy, you're trying to really kind of like form a bond with these people so that if you get to play with the game with them further down the line, it's like, hey, remember that day that you had to go to tribal and I didn't make you give up your vote? You owe me. Now we're going to work together.
I think that journey solidified a good relationship for those three.
Yeah.
Personally, right there.
Well, it did because now they're tied together.
Oh, which is very new.
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's a new version of an old reward.
Yes. So after they decided that Teeny was going to give up her vote for that upcoming, which is crazy because she literally was going to tribal council that night.
Yeah.
They open a box and there are these 3 amulets.
The amulet reward is back.
The amulet reward is back. They have little beads for each of the 3 amulets. They're all little versions of the immunity idol of the little monkey. They have their own, and it basically reads, however many amulets are in the game, you have to decide together who it's going to be used on because it will be one idol.
Yeah. So instead of the amulet twist like we've seen, where 3 of them is an extra vote, 2 of them is a steal a vote, and 1 of them left is an idol as people get voted out with them, we from the jump, this is an idol.
Yeah.
So instead of encouraging the castaways to target each other who have the amulets, it encourages them to stay together.
Yes.
So it kind of fosters a way to create a relationship. But the cool thing is that even if you lose 1 or lose 2, it will always be an idol.
Exactly.
I don't like it.
That's a hot take.
No,
I'm
like,
going to be honest.
I
I
don't
like it.
I don't know because I love the kind of like now we're linked, but there is this subtle like kind of Lord of the Flies like, well, if I get you out, it gets better. You know, like it's kind of like the prisoner, like
yeah,
like,
yeah. You're like itching to like
it's
get
like
the
it's like if if you put that idol back and you go for the next one, now it's 3 tribals. Like so I kind of like that air of like, well, we could work together and just use an extra, or I could blindside you and no one would even know.
It's not going to mean anything until we get to the merge.
Until we
so
yeah.
Who knows? One Caroline, Andy, or Teeny could all go home before the merge.
Yeah,
all 3 of them could go.
It could never be used.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I honestly, I think that I like it so much. To be completely honest, I think those amulets are so cute. Like
they're adorable.
No,
I want it on my keys. They're adorable.
They're like I don't know, maybe 3 inches by 2.5.
Yeah, they're like little figures.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
So the journey wraps up. They send them back to their tribes, and I just want to know this season of Survivor. Where are the lies? Why is nobody lying?
Yeah, they went back and they just spilled all the tea.
All 3 of them. Here's what happened.
Teeny literally walked into camp and said, "I'm just going to lay it on the table. I lost my vote."
Like, in front of everybody, and you're going to tribal.
And didn't even lie about how the vote was lost. She literally was like, "Listen, it's either I lose my..." And she was like, "Either way, it's either..." Yeah, it's like, if I don't say anything, I lose my vote. If I
think
say
it was
something...
smart of Teeny because it's kind of like one and done. Like, it's happening tonight. I might as well just get it over and done with, lose my vote.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about it down the line. And they get something out of it. So, it's like whatever. But it's crazy to me that none of them decided to be like, yeah, I chose to protect my vote and keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Like, now all of their tribes are aware that they're going to be linked. So now they're all targets.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we don't want Caroline to get to the merge because
if Caroline
gets to the merge, and a guaranteed alliance that they're already excluded from.
We pan up, so after we have the little breakdown between the 3 of them, and we get that scene of them all telling their tribes and not lying.
Pre-tribal time.
The pre-tribal. We have a moment with Lavo where basically everyone's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. No pun intended, Tagada.
Stupid.
But we have a moment where I thought that Genevieve was going to be so on board with Teeny and Kashan in the minute.
And she was. She was.
Until she snuck off to the beach, ran off with Rome, and was like, listen, I still can use you in my game, and you being gone isn't going to benefit me. So I would rather work with you than you be gone. And she spills the whole tea. Basically, Lava was planning on blindsiding Rome and letting Rome be the one to go home. And Genevieve was like, no, Rome, this is what's happening. And told all the... Because at that point...
The whole plan.
We know... Like
an hour before they're going to tribal, Genevieve was like, actually, no. I think what really happened, what the switch was for Genevieve, they're coming off of a very hard loss. Yeah. And Genevieve was a part of that loss. So I think deep down she kind of felt a little bit responsible for the puzzle conundrum that happened.
I mean, she is.
They were all kind of swept up in the kind of theatrics of it all, that she was like, he's got to go. Like, he's rustling too many feathers and like, he's just too abrasive. He's got to go, whatever. But then she kind of sat with it a little bit. And Keyshawn was quick to use Genevieve's name as the cover to Soul originally. So it kind of threw her off to be like, wait a second. This isn't a move for me. it's a move for Keyshawn. Because
Yeah.
if you get rid of Rome, Genevieve's left alone, and they're no longer a duo.
And you already know that Keyshawn and Teeny were going to pick up Soul.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so it was
Genevieve was going to be on the
3-1.
bottom of the barrel regardless. So
yeah, I think it was a great gameplay. It was a great pickup by Genevieve.
Oh, for sure. I will give you your flowers, Genevieve.
You
definitely you did your big one there in a great way.
Yeah. I just wanted Rome to go home so bad.
Yeah, I was just sick and tired of Rome and his shenanigans and the theatrics and
shenanigans. You shenan once, you're gonna shenan again.
Yeah, you're so stupid. Listen, I don't fault her for it.
It's just gameplay.
It's good gameplay.
She got. We see moments before Tribal. Genevieve is like, it's like that moment with Captain America where you won't understand this.
I was gonna say I don't watch Marvel, so I don't know.
There's this moment in Captain America where he's holding on to the helipad and the helicopter, trying to hold them together and keep the helicopter from flying away. That's Genevieve with Soul and Rome, like trying to get them to work together and bring these pieces so she can get Keyshawn and blindside Keyshawn. So it was like a bunch of pre-tribal scrambling, but we finally get there to a very, very tense tribal council.
Very tense, very tense. We know that there is plotting against everybody, and nobody really knows the full plan of what's going. Nobody, honestly, at this point, even as a viewer, we have no idea what direction it's going because we know that Rome is using his steal vote, but this whole time we think that it's being used on Soul. But in that last 10 minutes of a viewer before Tribal, everything is up in the air. And we have no idea.
Yeah, when we get to Tribal, Rome is still kind of selling it to Soul and to the audience. He was trying to make Keyshawn feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I have written here, Jeff, never seen anything like this. You know that's always going to be bad. If Jeff ever says, I have never seen anything like this to you, it's either like, wow, or like, you look like an idiot. So we have the discussion about, kind of the ultimatum. It's not a threat, it's an ultimatum. Mm-hmm. We go through all of that. And still, up until this point, Rome is selling it like the plan is the plan for Soul. And
Teeny is looking around
Teeny's just there. Teeny has no vote.
Teeny really said straight vibes.
Yeah.
Period. Not
it's time to vote. Rome stands up and is like, I've got to steal a vote and I would like to use it on Keyshawn.
Gag. Teeny's face was...
Everybody was like... Well, everybody... excluding Genevieve and Rome, because they knew the plan.
Soul was confused. Teeny was confused. Keyshawn was even more confused. Yeah. He was like, what the hell just happened? Because, at that point, Keyshawn and Teeny don't have votes. And they're a duo. And their duo was with the pack of four.
Means of protection.
It was just, at that point...
It was like, Keyshawn's going home.
Yeah. You kind of knew just because he couldn't vote, so... And
you saw Soul's reaction to kind of being like, oh my god,
So it was like, I can't believe I'm here to stay another day.
Yeah, so, and kudos to Soul for kind of picking up on that and not playing his shot in the dark.
I thought he was going to maybe
we saw a little clip of him reaching for his shoe when he got into the booth, but I'm glad he didn't play it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, though, someone does have to go home, and episode 4 snuffs Keyshawn's torch. Really, really upsetting. I was really, really looking forward to seeing Keyshawn as an individual player post-merge. What do you think? How do you feel?
I was really excited for the dynamic that Teeny and Soul had and what their relationship was going to expand to once we got to merge. Because I loved Keyshawn as an individual player. We had talked about this already.
Yeah, in our Meet the Cast, we're we get such good energy from
Great energy from Keyshawn. We were a little salty that he was a doctor and, he doesn't need that $1 million kind of thing. But, at the end of the day, I'm here to watch some good entertainment, and the relationship that he had with Teeny was amazing. I wanted to know who they were going to pull into the alliance. Was it going to be, a queer-dominated alliance, or were they going to head with the girl? I was just excited to see that blossom, and it was kind of sad to see him go.
Just felt like he got cut really soon.
Yeah, he got cut soon, and when you have a player acting Rome the way that he was, it was sad to see the problematic, quote-unquote, the problematic castaway stay. And the one that I wanted to stay, leave.
And let's just jump back to last week's episode. Asia last week pitched Genevieve to Keyshawn, Teeny, and Soul.
And they said no.
And they were like, we've got Genevieve in Rome on lock. Don't have to worry about her. You were wrong. Like, hindsight is 2020, baby. So I agree. I think it was really upsetting to see Keyshawn go early, but that's the name of the game. I'm even more nervous for Teeny going forward. Because now
Teeny's number one's gone.
Teeny's number one is gone. I think it's going to be good for Teeny because they weren't really involved in the plan making.
Yeah.
So I think that Rome and Genevieve, or even Genevieve, Teeny, and Soul will blindside Rome.
Who knows?
Because Lavo's going to have their idol back in play. They have no more Steal votes, so they're all kind of on an even playing field now.
They are. I literally wrote down, I want a Teeny Soul duo alliance so bad. So.
I wrote, they got his ass good.
They did.
Wow.
They did.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Soul Teeny. Teeny needs to have a right-hand man, and I think that Soul is definitely going to fill that spot for Teeny.
I love a Teeny Soul combo. For real.
It's going to be good.
I'll take it with a side of fries.
And that's your reality check for episode 4, Survivor Season 47. Another one when, unfortunately, it was Keyshawn. We're so sorry to see you go.
We'll miss you.
We will miss you.
If you enjoy content like this, reality TV and all that good stuff, be sure to check us out on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our silly little videos where you can see this cake on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all that good stuff. We look forward to making more Survivor content. We'll be back next week with episode 5, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.